Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm back once again. I want to come on here and talk about like the personality, ENFP personality. Cause I'm an E. I recently explored that I'm an ENFP, but I'm an ENFP Um, think that's the aggressor or the assertive one, but which it pretty much. I'm not gonna lie. How can I put this? It pretty much matches with who I am. Because see, I'm a pretty eccentric person. So at free spirit, I'm definitely an eccentric person. So it pretty much match with who I am. Um, I will say as an ENFP, because see, ENFPs can have a hard time of being disciplined and focus on like one thing, like getting one thing done on one project, or they can have a habit of starting projects and then not going through with them, not getting those done, or they can have issues meeting that goal because set in because they can have a tendency to like I said, they can be pretty scattered. They can in nature they crave variety. That's one thing about me, which I do crave variety. And I do have a hard time sitting in one place for quite some time. A lot of times I be thinking people like this too can have ADHD symptoms. It may not be all, but definitely some. They can have ADHD symptoms. They can be like kind of like, I don't just say hybrid, but they have trouble staying like in one place. Like I definitely have trouble staying in one place for a certain amount of time. Like for example, I cannot sit in one place for a certain amount of time in work. It's like I have to. It's like I could just sit there for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then next thing you know, I have to get up and move around. That's how it is. Um. Also, it's like when we have a tendency, like we can tend to stress about getting things done. But yet at the same time, I learned the best case scenario is like not to rush it. Like pretty much like not fast is slow, but slow is fast. If you get what I'm saying in this sense, more so like work at work at our own pace. But the time do matter. But work it out on pace, and then this thing work. I had to learn to work at my own pace, and then eventually not rush to get there, but eventually I will get there. It's like I will get there. Even as I get little by little done at a time, I will get there. So I had to learn that. Also, another thing I had to learn as well is that pretty much working for other people would not be for me or for other people. Pretty much like working for myself would be better, or creating something of my own it would be better. Whereas I can move to the beat of my own drum, work at my own pace, and also we can tend to. I know one of the lessons I had to learn was that I know one of the lessons I had to learn, just like I was talking about in a previous video, where that I had to learn the feeling of feeling adequate rather than feeling inadequate. In other words, like for example, even though I want other people to go with me places, or if I want to go with other people places, you know, um, because I didn't feel comfortable going other places myself. It's basically like I had to, in the past, it's like what I overcame was that I had to learn to go places alone first. Be able to really go places alone first, and do things alone first. Being alone first, to go places alone first, doing things alone first prior to others. It's like what I had to learn through other people. Like, let me give an example. I'm not gonna never forget. I went to this party back here early this year. I went with these group of people. So I was asking this female that was with me. I was asking her, this female friend that was with me. So I asked her. I was like, can you get me a drink if you don't mind? And then here goes this other female. She was like, you know, Let him get his own shit. Let him get his own shit. Let him get his own shit. You know, I mean, I'm just sitting up there relaxed, you know. I'm just sitting up there relaxed, you know, pretty much lay back, relax and stuff. And, you know, I felt it was something that she was projecting out on her behalf. But I did see the lesson from that. And what I learned from that was that I had to like other words, like me not being afraid to get it myself, going and get it myself. In other words, it's like I had to learn to, like I said, I had to learn, and I overcame that, like as stated in the previous video, of you know going somewhere alone, you know, being alone, like parties and clubs and things of that nature. Going somewhere alone, you know, learning to be alone first, embracing that before, you know, before wanting to be with others, you know. So it's like I had to embrace that first and learn that first, you know, and doing things on my own and things of that nature. So I had to learn that first, embrace that first. In other words, feeling adequate, you know, feeling sufficient, you know, feeling even more and more sufficient, you know, feeling more assured, self assured, you know. So that's why I had to go through first. Um, Another thing as a ENFP is that another thing as an ENFP is that we can have we because like I said really because like things like having to do with us like because see we in career wise we like to do things like whereas it's not consist of us doing the same thing every day and we're not bored with it's work that we have to love doing. It have to allow us to express ourselves, allow us to be creative, allow us to implement our creativity, express our creativity. Um, it cannot be something that we're just doing all the time every day because we get bored. ENFP people, see, we tend to get bored pretty quickly. That's the thing. We tend to get bored pretty quickly. Um, Another thing is that we could tend to like let's say if we're in the management position of some sort, whereas this higher power, if there's a habit of wanting to instead of enforcing the rules, it's asserting and enforcing the rules, but it's like enforcing it, but doing, but you want, but making a workplace like whereas making it inspirational for all people, but not want to hold the people accountable and things that nature for their actions, and and then when they break the rules and stuff like that, which that can be very consequential on us. So that's why we have to learn to be assertive, have to learn to stand in our power and exercise our power. We have to execute our power. You know, basically, in other words, it's like there's a difference between friendship and work, in that sense. You know, it's more so like, how can I put this? We have to. It's like we cannot be that coworker's friend. We cannot be their friends. Don't get me wrong. We have to remain humble now. We have to remain humble, but at the same time, we cannot be that person's friend either. We cannot be those people's friend either. You know, because we had to exercise our duty. We have a duty that we have to fulfill. We have to exercise that, which is so that's something we had to learn as well as ENLP people. And also, we don't like to be constrained by any conditions. We don't like to be defined, in terms of how society try to define people. We don't like that. We don't like that. Like, for example, like me, do you know like how when they consider males like there's that distinction, with alpha males and beta males and sigma males and all of this stuff, all of this nonsense. I consider it because it don't have no foundation to it for me. Um, just something somebody, I guess somebody came up with, and they dissecting off, the type of people, whatever, for whatever reason, whatever they're projecting out, and those people trying to fit in with it for whatever, for status or whatever. I don't like to be that. I don't like to be, confined. I mean, I don't like to be confined to those type of conditions because I am who I am at the end of the day as a man. I define, what is it, what a man is, what is it being a man for me. You know, not based off of what another person think. I'm still a man at the end of the day. Despite of what I am and what I do, I define what being a man means to me. What manhood means to me, and what it means to me of being a man. What manhood means to me, not what other people think and how they define it. So that's another thing as an ENFP. We like to maintain our individuality. We love independence. We like to maintain our individuality. Now we do have to learn to partner with people and to collaborate with people. That's something as well. But the thing, but as I stated, we're too independent. It's like we tend to value independence a little more. To be honest, with ENFP, when it comes down to romantic relationships, we would be better. Well, let's say love life, for example. Something traditional for the most part, it would not be for us. Like, let's say for example, marriage is some of us, marriage is not doesn't have to be mandatory, or you know or relationship, romantic relationship with all these conditions and stuff. More so something like a companionship for some, friends with benefits type of relationship, just like a deep friendship, or something like a partnership. Because I remember I did state in the past there's a distinct difference between all of those. Or for some of us, even like a poly type relationship. Simply fact because we crave variety. You know, also something like that would even be good for us, like a partnership and things of that nature. Because um, companionship, partnership, things of that nature. As long as there's the trust there, or there's the intimacy and there's the trust, and we're collaborating and sharing finances or what, and those things, that's what all matters. Being intimate, enjoying life together and living life together. That's what all matters, and it don't have to be all these, conditions, these restrictions, and it don't have to be all these conditions is there, because it still allow us the freedom and independence to definitely be able to, I want to say, not only maintain our individuality within the relationship, which that's what you're supposed to do in a way within a relationship, partnership, or whatever, maintain your own individuality, but also you don't have all these conditions in a way, in terms of getting to know each other, if you get what I'm saying in that sense. You don't have all these conditions and restrictions in a way of getting to know each other. Or why? As you getting to know each other more, it's like it's a little more stable versus that being a romantic relationship, and you have all these restrictions, and the marriages, you have all these rules and restrictions, and just like in a relationship, you have all these rules. And marriage is like a legal business agreement, whereas you're pretty much bound to this and that. If you break this certain type of rule, whatever, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but your stuff can get taken or whatever, unless you sign a prenup or something. But you legally bind it by law. Versus a relationship, you're not legally binded by law. Well, in some cases they had common law marriage in the past. I don't think they have that anymore. I think the judge have ruled it unconstitutional, unless they still have it in some places. But on the other hand, in a relationship, You have these conditions and restrictions. All these you have these conditions and restrictions while you still getting to know the person, while you two still getting to know each other, which is standing in the way of you two getting to know each other. Versus with a partnership, you get to know each other, but you don't have all these restrictions and conditions being in the way of you two, still definitely getting to know each other, within a partnership, and yeah, it's like it's not in a way of you two still. I mean, you two getting to know each other, but at the same time, there's trust, there's intimacy, there's trust, there's collaboration, um, joint sharing, collaboration. You're not binded or legally binded to anything. You're both sharing with each other. You sharing whatever you have with each other, you have each other backs, things of that nature, not trying to control each other or, you know, anything. So that's why I said ENFPs to do better in that, especially if they have like ADHD or if they crave variety, or things like that. That would be better for them. Something that is something for the most part that's like unconventional and that's not very conventional, like like a marriage with all those restrictions, traditional marriage or something like that, or a traditional relationship or relationship with all those restrictions. Um, Same thing like for a poly type of partnership or relationship or whatever. The same thing. Same thing apply. I mean, similar things apply, like for example, within a partnership or something. But see, it still allows them the freedom to be able to go enjoy and explore life. See, it depends on what all those three of those people agree within that poly situation, whether if it's a relationship or partnership or whatever. It all depends, you know. Um, but that's the thing for ENLP people. Let me see. What else? Did I miss anything for ENLPs? Did I miss anything? Because I did say we definitely do not like being bored. Um, we can okay ENFPs. Some not all ENFPs. It depends. But you have some ELPs that can sometimes can be a little they can be a little more impulsive because see they go off the intuition as well. You can have them. You could They could be precise with it, but see, you can have people that can be emotional. You have some of them can be emotional, but see, what will balance them out is somebody a personality type or someone who I don't want to say that is all that rational, but see, they have to be balanced with their emotions. But they're rational enough to understand, they're patient and rational enough to understand and and willing to work through things. I feel that would be suitable for us ENFPs. That would help imbalance our impulsivity out. You know, I feel that would definitely be something that would balance. Someone as a partner wise or friendship that would help balance us out rather than more so like neglecting us or just throwing whatever we have going on away. You know, opposed to that, we just work together. Just they're willing to work together, come to a solution. Willing to come to a solution together with situations. They pretty much like remaining calm. I'm not saying that they're remaining calm. And not reacting to the situation and overlooking the situation. No, they're remaining calm to be able to, definitely understand what's going on and to help work through a situation, help come to a solution, and resolve whatever issue that is, so we can move forward together. You know, um, they're being compassionate. They're being understanding. Because us ENFPs, we can be misunderstood. So yeah, those are the few things that I wanted to come on here and talk about with ENFPs personalities. I'm pretty sure I have some fellow ENFPs out there, but but yeah. But until next time, peace of blessings.